What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, April 6th, 2022 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord, 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific, daylight time here in Los Angeles. We're going to cover, a few different interesting topics. Shall we have a loosey-goosey Wednesday show? Can you believe it's Wednesday, guys? Wow. I saw some of you guys subscribing to my Subscribe Star. That's cool. My loosey-goosey Subscribe Star content. I'm actually putting out exclusive content for the supporters. Isn't that nice? And if you are a supporter and you are constantly giving super chats, hit me up. I'll send it over. I'll send you a link. Or you can just go to subscribestar.com/the Hake Report if you want to do a monthly support. That's cool. I'm going to talk about the immigration invasion just a little bit. Just a little reminder about what is coming. They're saying that, by the way, another recession is coming. So be afraid. Well, be ready. Baby killing. I have a little report about babies whose bodies were found in Washington, D.C. What's with all these women being supposedly pro-life activists? I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that. I think men should be leading the charge, for the babies. It's their babies anyways, I heard that Zelensky is pro-abortion and Putin is not that pro-life. He has said some things, but some say it's because only because he wants more Russians. I don't know. I will talk a little bit about Putin. I have a few clips from a video that I watched from a former guest of the Jesse Lee Peterson show, Alex Newman, who did an interesting video that I have mentioned before on Vladimir Putin. And it is not actually, what would you call it? Unflattering, okay? To put it nicely. And some other things, your calls as well, guys. Some Vaxx concerns out there, athletes are not really sure what to think, Not really sure what to think. Some may be sure what to think. But I'm not sure what to think. And also, drinking. Drinking is a concern. I talked about healthy eating on my Subscribe Star post yesterday. Check it out, guys. It's fun. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. Somebody told me, I think it was Kevin Howe. Kevin Howe said, "Hey, over there in the YouTube chat, your YouTube reminder was scheduled for 6 p.m.? Was it really? What was I thinking? Psh, that doesn't even make sense. Maybe I didn't even look at what I was scheduling, maybe I was scheduling it for last night at 6 p.m., like it was after 5 or something like that? I don't know. That's strange, man. Thank you for the heads up on that. Live at 6 p.m. Thank you for the heads up. Anyway, how you guys doing? It's Wednesday. Bond Archive Sunday Service premiere. Those are always pretty cool. Today, 4 p.m. Pacific time today. Remember when God said, "I am that I am." And by the way, Jesus said, "I am" as well. But people say that to say, oh, Jesus declared himself to be God in that statement. I don't know. But it will be an interesting Bond Archive Sunday service from 2013. It was actually Memorial Day weekend, May 26th. I was there. Men's forum tomorrow, too, guys. Always excellent. I just like to put that out there because Bond monthly men's forums, first Thursday of the month, are always, like I said, like I always say, a highlight of the month. They're cool. You deal with real stuff, real conversation, and pertinent, you know? And also the women's forums, I presume. I mean, I always hear, anytime I hear feedback, it's good feedback. So for the ladies' forums, women's forums, third Thursday of the month. Before I get to calls, let me briefly tell you about this little news report. I was looking up Doug Ducey, the Arizona governor. He signed this bill that was it was basically against abortion, right? Limiting abortion. And that's nice. That's good. And no exceptions for rape and incest, which is also good. According to the news report, as I recall, Doug Ducey, who I hear is like a rhino in many ways, but sometimes he does the right thing. Arizona's full of rhinos. Honestly, though, so is Texas. We've all known this. But he tweeted out apparently like a news report video about, the border crisis. Arizona bears kind of the brunt, among other states, right, especially in the border areas, of the immigration crisis. And honestly, it goes all the way up into like Maryland and elsewhere. Oregon. Illegals from south of the border come all the way up to Oregon and Washington State. And they come all over the country. And then their anchor babies have anchor babies. It's a mess. And Biden, sleazy Joe Biden, is ending that Title 42, something like that? Trump wanted to protect us from the illegal alien disease, illegal aliens with their diseases. 1.7 million, I think, were turned away, according to the reports, from this invasion of so-called migrants pleading asylum. They're trying to be like refugees. When you plead asylum, that's calling yourself a refugee, right? What a mess, huh? But opening the floodgates, the Biden administration wants to do. When is that? May 23rd? Obama was the same way. He was for them coming in. People say, oh, he deported so many. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know that the unaccompanied alien children, UACs, so-called children, were coming in unabated, I don't know. Unrestricted. He set border agents like 40 miles away from the border. I've talked about that. So it's a mess. Do I want to cover this baby killing thing? You know what? First, let me get to a call or two, guys. Let me first get to Denny in Bulgaria on the line. How are you doing, Denny?
Good afternoon, Mr. Hake. I hope you're doing well.
I am. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Glad to hear. I wanted to talk to you about the recent re-election of a remarkable man in Eastern Europe, Viktor Orban.
All right. Nice. Tell us about him.
He is the president of Hungary, and I was watching all kind of news, how he was right-wing, how he was Putin's puppet and stuff like that. First of all, that's absolutely a lie. Mr. Hake, I'm sorry, I really apologize for the question. How old are you? You look like you're around 40.
40, yep.
Oh, 40, all right.
Yep.
So Viktor Orban was first elected in 2010, 12 years ago. He's most famous for the policy of loan for an accommodation without an interest if you are married and if you have children, which was remarkable for all of the young families, all of the young men and women who are together and who have families, because just imagine that this is basically a gift. You remember, this is why I asked you how old you are.
Yeah.
You remember 12 years ago, the market prices of accommodations, basically everything, accommodations, vehicles. Who wouldn't vote for a man who was able to build that kind of economy? This is basically literally a gift. because your salary is not the same as it was 12 years ago. I have loans. I bought property. I am paying interest. And if I was under those conditions, I would have already been debt-free. Now, keep in mind, of course, he has his own way of doing things, but he is mostly working for the Hungarian people.
Yeah.
And they really love him. He was really the poster man for Hungary. He was brutally mocked. I don't know if you're familiar with the encounter with Jean-Claude Juncker, who was the president of the European Union Commission.
I'm not familiar with that.
They met, I think, 6 or 7 years ago, and they said that Juncker was playing. He actually slapped Viktor Orban and called him a dictator.
Wow.
Then later on, he said that this was a joke. Maybe it was. I personally didn't saw it as a joke. It's all over the internet. Jean-Claude Juncker, the president of the then president of the European Union Commission, and Viktor Orban. And you should have seen Orban. He literally took it like a man. He smiled and said, it is what it is. And he moved along.
Wow.
And like Juncker was never even born. He is truly a remarkable man. He is not a dictator. Absolutely, he is not, and I'll tell you why. The elections are pretty solid over there.
Oh, really?
Hungary is not that, absolutely, they're very solid. Hungary is not really that big of a country. The people talk, and it's close to me, to my home. I have colleagues from Hungary. Bulgarians tend to go and work over there.
Okay.
And I assure you, if they didn't like what this man is doing, they would have elected someone else. The reason she's been around for so long is because she's doing exactly what he was supposed to be doing. He's supposed to take care of the Ukrainian people. He's doing it. He's a remarkable Christian man in absolutely every way. You yourself imagine if somebody comes and tells you, Mr. Hake, if you vote for me, you can buy an accommodation and not pay any interest, and have that kind of values like Orban, like Christian values, family-oriented, you probably will vote for him as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's hard to know who is really what. People say that, I've heard like a wise man say that Ronald Reagan was one of the only Christians he ever met in his life. And this was an old guy who'd been around and seen a lot of people and things. It's hard to know what people are really like, but I like what I hear about Viktor Orban. And I agree with you. I definitely don't buy it when like CNN, which I read a lot of CNN, you may know, Commie Nonsense Network on Hake News, that they call him an authoritarian, so-called, president or prime minister, whatever.
He's a prime minister.
Okay. They call him authoritarian.
Republic.
They tried to call Trump authoritarian. Which
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
How can you call a leader an authoritarian when he was elected by the people and later on not elected?
Right.
This is ridiculous. You cannot say those because I'm afraid to tell you that the people on the so-called news are lying and a lot. Those are basically opinion channels like Deutsche Welle, what we have here. And they are saying that Orban was Russians like a vassal, like a puppet. He isn't. The reason he never said anything against Putin is because they have very, very good trade relationship with Russia.
Yeah.
And it's not personal. There's nothing personal over there.
Right.
The Russian market suited better the Hungarian needs. Like when I go to the store, I don't need to like the person who owns the store. I don't really need to know anything about this person. His goods are at affordable for me price, and I am paying for the goods.
Yeah.
This is on a personal level. It's absolutely identical on a bigger level.
Makes sense.
So when I heard that he was labeled as Putin's ally and right wing, he is neither. He's an absolutely normal Christian leader who happens to be doing a very good job. And we don't have enough of those. Unfortunately, Europe is not in very good condition right now.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure, man. Oh, it's disgusting. Well, I appreciate the
Absolutely.
input, Denny. So you're saying that Orban, you mentioned his like child-friendly, like family-friendly, like supporting or rewarding people making families, huh?
He is rewarding them by providing, let's say you buy an accommodation, but if you have a wife and children, you are not, you have a loan from the country, not
Okay.
from a bank. You have a
Interesting.
loan from the country, but you're not paying the interest. Only the month starts for the next, let's say, 10 years. But you remember, 10 years ago, the accommodation were a little bit cheaper than what they are now, right? And this is worldwide. So basically, he allowed them to have ownership of their own homes. He allowed them to have stable economy. And he minimized the government. The government over there is made out of a handful of people.
Yeah.
And he's mostly relying on the private sector. I was listening to you on the, what was the name? You were in a debate.
Modern day
with
debate.
a woman.
Is the Great Reset
Yeah.
real?
Yes, that one. And you've mentioned something remarkable. When it's collective, people don't really take care of it.
Right.
But when you have your own thing, you naturally start caring. You don't even understand that you're caring.
Yeah.
Because it's like a reflex. It's like breathing, right?
Yep.
And this is yours. You're taking care of it. And inevitably comes the element of competition, which is not something bad. As a matter of fact, without competition, we would still live in caves. The competition is
Possibly
a good thing.
so. Yeah. Right.
And this is a remarkable achievement of Viktor Orban. And when I heard from Deutsche Welle and BBC England that she's a Putin stooge and puppet and authoritarian, this was absolutely a ridiculous statement. And the people who are working in the news either are unaware of what's going on or have been paid very well to pretend that they don't understand the picture.
Or they just disagree with what he's doing. Because a lot of people, somebody made the point in the chat that they say dictator. Les Archer says, only become a dictator when not going along with the profit for few agenda, which is, catering to the so-called minorities and what the corporations want that are subverted into the SJW nonsense and the
There is
globalist
an
agenda.
ancient-
Say again?
There's an ancient saying that says, when in Rome, you do as the Romans do.
Yeah.
You're in California. If I go over there, I will have to act like a Californian. If I go to Germany, I will have to act like a German. This is a normal thing. If you go to somebody's house, you don't move the furniture.
Right.
The furniture is already there because the person who lives there decided that this is the way to go.
Yeah.
You may suggest something, but that's about it. So she doesn't play those games at all. There's no such thing as minority and stuff like that over there.
Nice.
You're either a Hungarian or you're not. And he has another very good national policy. Well, some countries allow double citizenship.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
He
You're
does
either
not.
a Hungarian. No, she doesn't. You're either a Hungarian citizen or you're not. There's no in between.
Nice.
Which is, I personally believe that this is remarkable policy because you're building the next generation of people with understanding of nationality, understanding of ownership, understanding of freedom.
Yeah.
And he's not radical. He's not against certain groups of people. He's just protecting his own people. There is a lot of difference.
Well, I appreciate it, Denny. It's great to hear from you, man. Take care.
Great to hear from you too, Mr. Hake. I wish you a remarkable day.
All right. You as well. Very nice. Yeah, I wonder, are white people on decline around the world, in population level? Or is it, like in some of these countries, are they having positive birth rates or negative population growth. You know what I mean? Are they at replacement rate or above in these countries? I just wonder that. His Denny from Bulgaria's call made me wonder that. Before I get back to calls, quick super chat from Hake's wingman, Bibby42 says, your subscribe star is pretty neat, Hake. Yeah, I have a subscribe star. Subscribestar.com/The Hake Report. I just got it up and running again. Thank you guys for supporting me in years past there, those of you who did. And thank you for the supporters over there on Patreon, but Patreon banned me less than a month ago. So I got my subscribe star back, and I've been posting content. Hake's wingman, Bibby42 goes on, I won't give away your videos, but you could become, but could you become an IRL streamer? I think so. IRL is short for in real life. Like Baked Alaska does some IRL streaming, meaning just going out on the street, just constantly just streaming from his phone or whatever. So Hake's wingman, Bibby42, thinks I could become one of those. And maybe also an ASMR creator. Do you know what ASMR stands for, Chris? ASMR? It has to do with like calming sounds that's just a bunch of nothing but calming or something like that.
I don't recall off the top of my head.
ASMR.
It's audio.
Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. Sometimes called Autosensory Meridian Response. Tingling sensation.
Very nice.
Thank you, Chris. Tingling sensation that usually begins on the scalp and moves down the back of the neck and upper spine. Whoa. A pleasant form of paresthesia. It has been compared with auditory tactile synesthesia and overlap with frisson. What do you mean? What do you mean by that, Lord Hake's wingman, Bibby42? Maybe he thinks that my voice is calming and tingling to you guys. Or maybe it's Hake's music is very nice. James Antoine. He spells it Antoine. His real name is Anton or Anton. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm not sure how my great-grandpa Anton pronounced it. Or Anton. James Antoine Hake is going to master all the categories of streaming. That's cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you to the new supporters on Subscribestar. I got 3 new supporters and an extra tip for some Little Caesars pizza. Very nice. ASMR is cringe as heck, says Agent Black. That's funny, Malkuth X. So, yes, thank you very much. That's kind. Let me briefly get to a caller I haven't heard from in a little while, Zach in Columbus, Ohio. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, how are you?
Doing well. Very nice. Thank you for calling, man. I almost asked him how he is after I'd already asked him how he is. Shameful.
I've been wondering. I haven't been able to watch the show for a while, but I took a day off of school today, 5 weeks until I graduate high school. Important stuff, Hake.
What's that?
5 weeks until I graduate high school.
Okay. I guess that's important. It can be a good thing to graduate from high school. I mean, you are a capable young man that you can graduate. Might as well do it. Finish it up. That's cool, man. Well, I don't want to congratulate you until it's done. But
You're right.
Yeah, it's April, so 5 weeks. So you're going to graduate in May?
Yeah. I graduate in May.
Are you getting a week off for Easter vacation?
It's like 4 days, not even a week.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Do you get Good Friday off?
We do get Good Friday off, yeah.
Okay. And then you get until like Wednesday after that or something like that? Or how do you only get 4 days off?
It'd be Good Friday.
Yeah.
And then it'd be Saturday and Sunday, and then we get Monday off, and we go back Tuesday. So technically only 2 days.
So, yeah, you only have a 4-day weekend. What in the world?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yep.
All right, fine. You don't have to waste your time with a whole week off for Easter vacation. Do they call it spring break, though? Do they call it spring break or no?
We already had spring break.
Oh, wow, that's so subversive. They have divorced spring break from Easter, guys.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. You say you get a long weekend
and-
after. Okay.
I'm going to be a police officer.
Really? You're going to be a pig?
I am.
Did you hear me? I said, you're going to be a pig? I'm
I
kidding
guess
around,
so.
though. Well, be careful, man. Well, I don't want to ask what area you're going to go into. But, okay, are you pretty big? Are you pretty fit already? Or are you pretty
Yeah,
skinny?
I am pretty fit already. I'm skinny. Like, I do cross country and track,
Right,
so that should tell you.
right.
Um,
But some
But, you know, I'm-
cross-country runners, even some talented ones, were more muscular than others. So are you like muscular
yeah,
skinny?
I'm just skinny, man.
Well, they'll bulk you up, I'm sure. You'll get strong.
Yeah, hopefully. I need to be a good cop. That's my goal. A good
Yeah,
cop.
you want to be one of the good ones. I'm channeling the great. If any woman is great, what's her name? Who came to the Graper Mommy? Yeah, Michelle Malkin. She supports cops, the good ones. And Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I went to the Groiper conference at AFPAC 3, and Sheriff Joe spoke. Who's really a living hero, Sheriff Joe Arpaio. And he
I've never heard of him.
Okay, yeah, he's out of Maricopa County. He's not a sheriff anymore. They voted him out. You know, there's been decades of hit pieces against him. So, but he's he's probably 90 by now. He's 89, going on 90 last I saw him.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think he's running for a mayor position, to be a mayor of a city over there somewhere.
At 90?
Yeah, and he's still doing okay. So, but...
Well, that's good to know. Even though I don't know who he is, it's good to see someone out there doing good.
Yeah. Yeah, his wife died just like last year or so. Wife of however 50 or 60 years. He has children and grandchildren. Some mixed grandchildren. You can't really control what happens.
Yeah.
Actually, he kind of brags about it. He's older than a boomer. But anyway, that's an honorable position if you're an honorable man. So I wish you well with that. So you're going to skip college, huh?
Man.
You're going to skip college or you're going to go to college?
I think I'm going to go to college.
Okay, well...
And then after college, go to the academy.
Okay. All right. You're going to run in college?
Yeah.
Cross-country, track?
Yeah, I'm going to run cross-country.
Nice, man. How about track?
Yeah. Track, probably not, unless the coach makes me.
Yeah.
Which is probably what's going to happen, but...
I did
cross-country, definitely.
I did cross-country 2 different seasons when I was in college. My freshman season at Pasadena City College, and then my junior, when I transferred, my junior year at Azusa Pacific University. And I really liked both of those seasons of running cross-country. I redshirted in track that third year, but I was kind of injured, and so I was just swimming mostly, been helping out at track meets. I didn't really run any track seasons. But yeah, man, that's cool. I wish you well.
Oh, thank you. I wish you well too. And I'll be calling the show more once I get out of school. Hopefully in the summer I'll be calling a lot.
Right
on.
on.
Information, some Gen Z information.
Okay, cool. Looking forward to that.
I remember I told you about that Adrian's kickback a while ago.
Oh, yeah. It went viral. Oh, that was down in, what was that, Huntington Beach? And it went wild? Adrian's kickback.
Did you hear about Panama City?
No. Where is that?
Panama City Beach. I believe it's in Florida. The blacks went wild.
Oh, man.
I mean, there was like 85 police and people going to jail, people with guns. It was crazy.
Interesting. I might have heard about that. Was that? I wonder when that was. Panama City Beach spring break goes viral on TikTok per CBS 42. That was March 15th. So just a couple of weeks ago, huh? 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
They went nuts.
161 people arrested.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like
Mostly black.
Yeah. Wow. That's just racism. Well, thank you for the tips, man. I really appreciate them. And it's nice to hear from you. And the chat loves you as well.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, chat. I should be in the chat more. And good to talk to you, Hake. And where's White Chris at? Where's he been at?
He's
You
here.
still there?
Yeah, he's always here. Faithful Chris. You want to say hi?
Indeed.
What's up, bud?
What's up, Chris? How are you?
I'm doing well, Zach. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You're the one who's mixed, part black and part white, right?
Yes,
Okay. I forgot all about that.
indeed.
Yeah. Nice, man.
Thank you, Hake. It was good talking to you.
Yeah,
Good
you as
catching
well.
up.
Zach from Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, be careful out there. Be wise. And
Indeed. Oh, before I go, has Maze been calling at all? Or
yeah,
Earl?
a little bit. Not Earl. I haven't heard from Earl in since probably before White History Month. I'm not sure. And
my
so
God.
Earl, we don't know. Some say he's dead. I don't know. That's speculation. But
That's a possibility.
yeah, anything is possible. Maze, we hear from every so often. My favorite caller. So
Indeed.
he's spiritually dead. That's true. Unless he's repented.
All right, hey, good talking to you.
All right, you as well, Zach. By the way, do you do JLP's silent prayer? You heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of the silent prayer, of course.
You do that?
I haven't done it. I haven't done it in a while.
Oh,
But,
really? Okay.
Yeah. I got to get back to it.
Well, if you want to stay young and carefree, I do recommend it. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know if that's the right words. But anyway, thank you, Zach. Good to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care.
Yep, you too.
Bye. Before I get back to calls, guys, hang tight, I will get to you. I have Keith in Illinois wants to talk about the black neighborhoods and not doing well. Alexander in California wants to talk about so-called big tech. I call it the social media establishment, although it's more than just social media. But let me talk about this thing that is baby killing, but they call it abortion. It's ridiculous. I saw a couple of headlines from Mike Cernovich's IG. I follow him on IG. Mike Cernovich, you know, this center-left guy. I think he loves America. If he loves anybody, you know. It was about a pro-life / anti-abortion activist being caught with multiple fetuses, dead unborn babies. Pretty rough stuff, honestly. She was caught, and then, like, the authorities were kind of going after her, and then they weren't, and then who knows what's going on. Let me play this clip 11. This is from WUSA 9. It's a local news report. It's an article from April 6th, which is today, right? But I don't know this recording, this video report recording, maybe from some days back, I'm not sure. But it mentions this woman named Lauren Handy, and she has an anti-abortion group. They call it anti-abortion now. They used to call it pro-life. Whatever. Now claims that this group took 115 so-called fetuses, babies, dead, unborn babies. But honestly, some of them were born and then killed. It does happen, according to pro-life activists, okay? From outside of a D.C. clinic. So I don't know if they're changing their story, because at first they were saying that they got it out of a guy's truck, a truck of someone who was disposing of so-called medical. Well, let me show you this clip. Medical waste truck. Pretty disgusting stuff. Anyway, listen to this report. It's over 3.5. It's almost 4 minutes long from this local news report. And let me know if it's press 1 for perfect volume. Press 2 for too loud. Press 3 for too quiet. Just in the chat, just to let me know. I like to know. Here it is, guys. Enjoy. This clip 11.
We were planning on doing what we call a pink rose rescue that day.
Teresa Bukovac and Lauren Handy call their group Progressive Anti-Abortion Uprising. March 25th, they say they were headed to Washington Surgery Clinic on F Street Northwest to protest when they say they noticed this truck out front from Curtis Bay Medical Waste Services.
We looked at the boxes that were sitting on the dolly on the sidewalk. They both had labels on them that said Washington Surgery Clinic.
They say the driver was shocked when they told him what might be inside the boxes.
I said, "Would you get in trouble if we took one of these boxes?" And he said, "Well, what would you do with them if you took one?" And Lauren said, "We would give them a proper burial."
And a funeral.
And a funeral. And he thought about it for a second, and he said, okay.
They say they took the box back to Handy's apartment on Capitol Hill. Inside, they say they found dozens of plastic containers.
We took 115 unborn children out of the box.
Most were very small, but farther down, they say there were bigger containers.
When I opened the first container and I saw Christopher X, I just was like, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry.
The medical waste company tells WUSA 9 at no time did the Curtis Bay employee hand over any of these packages to the PAAU or other third party, and any allegations made otherwise are false. And it says it does not dispose of fetuses or human remains.
Abortion is the most painful type of murder.
Handy and 8 other people are facing federal charges for allegedly invading Washington Surgery Clinic 2 years ago. And Planned Parenthood accuses them of harassing patients at its clinic too.
Put your hands up!
The activists say they got the box 5 days before the arrests in the federal case. And they say after failing to find a pathologist willing to autopsy the fetuses, they say they contacted DC police and asked homicide to pick them up.
But when we got there, when we stepped out of the Uber, FBI stepped out of their cars and arrested Lauren right there on the sidewalk. They never entered the building, or they never entered her apartment.
DC police say the fetuses were aborted in accordance with DC law. Sources say there are no plans to autopsy them, but police are still investigating how the women got them.
Did you all do anything illegal to obtain that box and those fetuses?
We have not done anything illegal.
They took what was an incredibly private moment for these women in their reproductive lives and spread it all over the internet for their own exploitative purposes.
The women have been going after the clinic's doctor for years.
Santangelo is the one that ripped these children apart.
We know images get right to the heart, and the victims their story needs to be told.
Washington Surgery Clinic has declined to respond to our repeated phone calls and messages. But DC licensing records show over the last 20 years, the doctor has no disciplinary action against him. And at this point, it's what the activists did that police are investigating. In downtown DC, Bruce Leshan, WUSA 9.
Crazy, huh? That's a local CBS News report. CBS, far left, enemies of America. But interesting, huh? Members of they call themselves Progressive Anti-Abortion Uprising. What? So they're like pro-life communists or something? What do they mean? Women. They said they obtained the fetuses, the dead babies, from a medical waste company employee who allowed them to take a box from his truck. But now they claim that they took it outside of a D.C. clinic. I don't know if that's the same thing or if they changed their story or what. But kind of sick, disgusting. Somebody said Moloch is not pleased. Moloch is a biblical false god, right? I think, to whom some of the degenerates of the biblical times would sacrifice their children, kill the babies to Moloch. And apparently some say that that's happening to this day by way of abortion. To this day.
To this day.
Thank you. Lila Grace Rose, she's another pro-life woman. Cringe. Am I unfair in saying that? I don't think I am. all of these people, a bunch of these pro-life women were opposing Trump when he was like the best thing for their cause. Men need to take charge of this pro-life thing, right? The women do it wrong. And they have the wrong idea and spirit, and they don't lead, and it's a mess. And they have no authority. But anyway, Lila Rose was tweeting out pictures that made me think that it was this thing, and I think it is. Some of those pictures were graphic. I happened across Claston Bernard, who was called into the Hake Report. He's this Jamaican man who came to America, and I think he's an American citizen now, who was an Olympic athlete, an athlete to this day.
To this day.
He retweeted some of Lila Rose's tweets, Lila Grace Rose on Twitter. Don't go there if you are faint of heart or faint of stomach, because they're pretty graphic. Shows recognizable baby bodies, you know, and some of them in parts, you know. Breaking, tweeted Lila Grace Rose on April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, but I don't think this was an April Fool's joke. Don't think so. Infant bodies may indicate infanticide after attempted abortions, you know? Kill the baby comes out alive, kill the baby afterwards. The bodies of at least 5 preborn children, some of whom may have been born alive and then killed, tweets this lady, have been discovered in Washington, D.C., which is a disgusting swamp, as you may know. Pro-LGBTIQ, Comet Pizza is there. The Capitol Police are there. Capitol Hill is there. Congress and Senate are there. The White House is there. And the White House is not white on the inside anymore, right? Just put it that way. Or the people in there, they're definitely not white on the inside. Prepare for graphic imagery in this critical thread, this lady warns. Baby girl 1, I'll just kind of describe a little bit, or just read through this tweet, just skim it. Baby girl 1 appears to be in the early 3rd trimester. That means like 6, 7 months, something like that, right? Pregnant or developed. And as indication, she may have been alive at the start of the procedure. If true, it means the abortionist would have committed an illegal partial birth abortion where a baby is partially delivered before the doctor ends her life. So ridiculous. We're like nitpicking about when exactly you can kill the baby. You know what I mean? I mean, it's shaking my head. Beautiful baby boy 1, she tweets about a different baby. That's oof. Looks to be between 30 to 32 weeks gestational age. Totally intact, the size of a small newborn. Appears to be completely normal. Looks aborted using the induction method, which, if you know what that is, I don't. Probably a good thing that I don't. Otherwise, I'd be lightheaded and throwing up right now. Baby girl 2 looked like an average 16 to 28-week-old baby if she had not been callously dismembered with her. Well, I won't read the description because it's unimaginably brutal, says this Lila Rose about this type of death. Not good. Baby number 4, estimated 28 weeks old, still in their amniotic sac. Looks like a little alien egg thing, you know? But it's just a baby in the womb or whatever. I don't know. I don't know my biology, thank God. Physicians and other experts have told Live Action. Lila Rose is part of Live Action, right? She's the president and founder of Live Action. Cringe. But anyway, they're putting out information that's useful. Physicians and other experts have told Live Action that the footage of these babies shows viable human beings whose death may be prosecutable under the Federal Born Alive Infant Protection Act or the Partial Birth Abortion Act. D.C. police must conduct thorough investigation of these potential crimes. Congress must also start an inquiry to, like she's tweeting like she has this authority over these people. I mean, maybe they'll, anyway, whatever. Cringe. Women. But I agree with her, I guess. But, I mean, how about not killing babies? Stupid. And she tweeted out this article. What a mess, huh? Sick. Sick stuff. And I told you at the beginning of this show that I did hear that Volodymyr Zelensky, you know, who's crying about war crimes. Somebody says, press 1 if abortion is worse than slavery. Lord H. Sizzle. People hitting 1s. Some people hitting 0. The war crimes crier. Oh, the UN needs to be dissolved if they don't stop Russia. I'm speaking so strained, I'm getting lightheaded. Volodymyr Zelensky, the unchristian so-called president of Ukraine, very pro-abortion, I heard. I heard from a fairly reliable source, very pro-abortion. And I heard, too, that Putin doesn't particularly care about abortion, although he has said some good things, true things, especially lately, because they need more Russians. It's counterproductive, killing the babies. So he's only pro-life to an extent. They say. I don't know. At least he pretends to be a Christian. Zelensky doesn't even pretend. And I don't know if Putin is just pretending. I'll talk a little bit more about him. But that's that. Just an interesting report, stuff going on in the world. Let me see if I can find what that was. I don't know if I have it handy here. I mentioned Mike Cernovich's post. I wonder if this is it. Yeah. Okay, so BBC News World tweeted out March 31st a headline and article. Police find 5 fetuses, and they spell it Foetuses, which is, I guess, the British spelling, to make it sound even less human. But that's babies, at the home of a U.S. anti-abortion activist. And then that was the first headline on March 31st. Another headline from Washington Compost, which is a so-called American company. D.C. medical examiner has no plans to autopsy the fetuses removed from the anti-abortion activist's home, say officials. 2 D.C. officials with knowledge of the case said the decision could change if they receive additional info. And that was from a few days ago as well. But it's so funny because Cernovich points out that media reports a pro-life activist was found with 5 fetuses in her house. What a psycho. Everyone's like, what the heck? And then Live Action says, yes, she did. Look at the pictures. These babies were murdered. Behold. And then the media in D.C. corner said, never mind, nothing to see here. Yeah, that's true, because they don't want to admit that dead babies are babies. So wrong. Let me get to William in California. He's on the line. William, how are you doing? Oh, oops. I meant William. Sorry, hang on. I meant Alexander in California. He's on the line. William, I will get to you. Hey,
Hake.
Hey, how are you doing, Alexander? Thanks, man.
I'm doing a good job, Hake. I like to think I'm a decent human being. You have said before I'm a very interesting person.
Interesting doesn't mean decent.
Okay, I'm at least an interesting one. I mean, I don't know how you define decent. Some people argue there's no such thing as objective morality.
Do you think there are uninteresting people?
All I know is what you say. As far as what I say, I think some people interest me less than other people. That's what I have to say about that.
Okay.
You want to hear what I have to call about, James?
Sure. You called about big tech, so-called?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson actually has said that I can actually back up what I'm saying right now. Big tech, or at least part of it. Big tech is ran by liberals and the far left. These liberal metaphysics are, based off my observations and humble opinions, stronger than conservative metaphysics. Also, liberals are higher in openness than conservatives, so they are more creative people. Liberals have racial metaphysics on their side. Also, liberals are better inventors because of the openness thing. So, what do you think, James?
I understood some of those points that you were making.
You want me to repeat them so you can hear
No,
them
you
again?
do not. You do not need to repeat them.
Okay.
Yeah, I
What
understood some of those, and I don't know. There may be some truth to that. I have no idea.
Okay, Jordan Peterson actually has said that liberals are lower in conscientious but higher in openness. So it makes sense that all the Silicon Valley people are liberals. Plus, what's good for me is a lot of the big tech founders are liberal autistic men like Bill Gates.
Autistic.
Mark Zuckerberg. Yes.
Autistic or artistic?
AUTISTIC. 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 Autistic.
And what is
with a
autism?
U.
What's autism again?
However, a neurologist is going to define it.
No, how would you,
neurology,
in layman's terms?
Not well socialized people, lack a lot of social awareness based off of genetics, and it is determined, you can tell by a brain scan.
Oh, so they
and
say.
That's why Peter Thiel's actually a conservative, and he wrote a piece on how autistic.
He's not that conservative, man. He's gay. But
yeah, but he's one of my favorite billionaires. I'm bisexual.
Don't be telling that. That's vulgar.
I'm sorry. I am sorry. I mean, actually,
I accept your apology.
I'll stop saying it. What?
Yeah, I said I accept your apology. I thought you said you were a Christian.
James. Well, I'm like I've said before. I'm showing my own friend. But then you guys just don't want me on as a guest for whatever reason.
No,
I respect your.
Why do you keep on mentioning that? Anyway.
I respect your rejection. I'm sorry, James. So anyway, that's what I have to say, and that is why big tech is ran by the liberals.
I suppose that's a big part of it. There's been a lot of cultural subversion that brainwashed these young people too.
I mean, I think it's a good thing. You think it's a bad thing, so we respectfully disagree on that.
I don't respectfully disagree on that. You're absolutely wrong. There's nothing respectful about that issue. I have no respect for that position, that it's a good thing.
Okay,
I have
James,
respect for you, but not for that position.
Okay. I sound, look, act, and sound Jewish. I've had people tell me that, just as a side note.
Well, thank you for the side note. Well, thank you, Alexander. It's I wish you well, man.
Likewise, James. I love you.
Yeah, and also, I saw your email from that phone call. Don't mention what the topic was. I saw that email, but I want to address it rather than send an email back to you. I saw an email from a phone call that I rejected from you. You recall I rejected a phone call from you because I didn't want you bringing up that topic or saying what you were going to say. And I wholly disagree with you, and I think that you should not care about what experiences you may have or may not have before you die. It's a silly thing to be hung up on, whether you'll die a virgin or something.
Thank you for the advice, James.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope that you were open to that advice.
You come from a good place, James. Have a nice day.
You too. Take care, Alexander. Wish you well, man.
Likewise.
All right. And you're 20, right?
You're 20, right?
Okay, he hung up. Nice. But thank you. Let me get to Keith in Illinois. Keith, thank you for holding. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Hake? How are you, buddy?
Doing fine. How are you?
All right. I was just, I call when I get kind of a situation. My cousin called me, and she lives in Chicago. She's 49, and I was talking about, she was telling me how all the problems she have and all her family have, and it's like it's just all these black people live in these urban areas, and they worry about the stuff that don't really matter, fentanyl, Floyd, to whatever crap that these liberals shine in front of their face, when they are really doing really bad in life, from autistic children. They got all kind of ailments, man. Diabetes, heart, strokes. You know what I'm saying? And they're poorer than third world people. You know what I'm saying? And it just amazes me that that they have no sense in how these liberals and these black Democrats use them to be powerful and rich, and while these people suffer immensely. I'm talking about like a pure hell, and they just won't wake up. It just amazes me.
Yeah. I think that happens to probably most of us. We're just kind of used to the suffering and, it's not that bad, especially when you're younger. And some people die young that way. but people are comfortable in their hell because they go after the comforts to distract them from the hell they're in. Kind of to reference what our conversation was with the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Please turn on the AC, please. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I think you're right. I mean, they give them, their cigarettes, they liquor, they drugs, they little funky beat music. So I think you're right. I think that's what they give them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's
distract
worthless.
them.
I mean, it's worthless. They just hear a drum beat and they forget all their problems. They start shaking their hips and they forget that they're poor and destitute. They really do. They just give them little things and they forget that they're destitute. I mean, for the moment, they really do. You're right.
Somebody says you're another self-hate caller. Do you live that way and you hate it or something, or do you not live that way?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, the way that
I'm
we described.
Oh no, they tell them they totally wrong. Retired. I have a nice pension, nice 401k. Oh no, I'm from the urban area though. Yeah. But no, I'm not a self. That's amazing to me. I'm talking about the plight of my black people. I'm trying to save them.
Right.
How am I self-hating?
I know.
The self-hater is that person that wants them to suffer. They want them to live in that hell. Those are the self-haters, man. That's not me. I'm trying to wake them up so they'll come out of that. Out of that hell. How am I the self-hater if I'm trying to trying to wake them up? That don't make any sense to me. Somebody that was right there has got to be the most ignorant, dumbest, stupidest, hateful, wicked person on the planet to say I'm self-hate. Don't make any sense. I'm trying to wake people up so they don't live in that hell.
Right.
It's amazing to me how people can. That's one of them liberal-minded kind of people. They probably some white person. The liberals, the black people tell them something. They have to excuse.
I think he's
Joy
black.
Reid. Huh?
I think the person who said that is black.
They could be like Tony, all the people that want to live in this hell, that don't want to come out of this hell.
But I actually don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, those kind of people, those are the kind of people that are very ignorant and want people to live in this hell with them. That's all they are. They're very satanic.
And most of them live the way that you describe, but it's more than just the distraction of the weed and all that stuff. It's also the distraction of self-righteousness, hatred of whites, voting for the Democrats, following the mainstream media. You hear my callers who are like upstanding, well-behaved, except for that they're just off the deep end liberal. Callers like Tony, I bet you Tony, when he's interacting with you, he acts probably fairly civilized. Probably not that much on pot. Maybe not. I don't know. But he's distracted by hatred and self-righteousness, judging the whites and judging the conservatives.
That's all he talks about. People like him. I know people like him. That's all they talk about is that kind of that racist, that self-hate, that hating white people. That's all they ever talk about. Nothing that's constructive to get, themselves or people around them or their family members out of that hell. They talk nothing but, that old stuff that keeps them in that bondage. That's all the people talk.
Yeah.
And another thing I'm going to let you go is that...
A quick side note. Just, you don't have to answer this. It's just somebody in the chat mentioned it, and I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to answer it. Are you fit or are you fat?
I'm fit. I'm 6'2", 220 pounds, martial artist,
nice, right
athlete. On. Yeah, and I'm 63, and I'm still very well built.
Wow.
I've been getting women all my life. I'm married now, but I'm that kind of guy that take care of himself. You know what I'm saying, and keep his health and his finances very well.
Right on.
And I'm 63. Like most people, I look at. It's like 25 and 30, they obese and fat and lazy.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? High blood pressure, 25.
Yeah.
And that's the average black person. I mean, I remember I went to some place, I'm looking at all these average black guys in their 40s. They got fat, they got breasts, they act like women. They are so weak and pathetic. That's the average, beta black male. So tell that person, oh, hell no, I've been fit all my life. I've been pumping iron all my life. Tell them no.
That's cool, man. Okay, what was that last point that you wanted to make?
The last thing is that I just feel like, conservatives, I don't feel like we're, just too nice. It's just like Democrats and liberals are so evil and wicked, and they're willing to kill, steal, and rob to get what they want. I just think conservatives need to be a little bit more, aggressive or, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more stand your ground and willing to do what they have to do. That's how I feel conservatives are just too weak and too nice.
Yeah, that's true. I really agree with that,
thanks
man.
a lot, Hake. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say I appreciate you letting me talk, and I'm glad I could talk to some people in the chat room, you know, because, I'm not lying. I mean, I'm retired. I'm doing very well. I get a nice Social Security check, a nice pension. I've been living in homes all my life. I've been traveled around the world. You know what I'm saying? All I'm doing is just trying to wake people up so they don't have to live in the hell and then die and go to hell. That's all I'm trying to do.
That's cool, man. By the way, do you do JLP's silent prayer?
Oh, no, I've never done that, though. I've never done it.
Oh, okay, you ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah. I've been listening to y'all for the last 4 years.
Oh, nice, man. Well, check it out sometime if you get a wild hair.
I sure will. You and the crew, y'all take care, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Take care. We are at the top of the hour, guys. It is time for some music. I will get back to calls. I gave William a false start. I got to get to him, too. And Social Pariah's on the line. So, but anyway, I got to get to this music, and then I will cover Putin and the calls and some vaccine concerns, right? Just be aware, be alert. But this track is from the 2007 album. Not The Sun Awakens. That was the previous album. Shelter from the Ash, from the band called Six Organs of Admittance. This is Strangled Road, track 2 on that album on Drag City Records. Enjoy, or press mute, you musical Philistines, cover your ears. But I actually think that some of you will enjoy this to an extent. 5 minutes, guys? But I'll be talking you through it in a couple of minutes here. So, enjoy. Isn't this nice? Hake on backup vocals. You calling me a woman? Wish I had a small guitar emoji. Did they headline as Starbucks? Asks Radulaser. What, you think this is Starbucks style music?
Yes, it's true, they're hiding, waiting to kiss your skull. They may even eat the horse that you're riding. Swallow this whole as they swallow this whole world whole. Swallow this whole world whole. Swallow this whole world
Bad music with Hake talking over it. How much worse can it get? This is bad. He doesn't sing from his diaphragm. Am I wrong for talking over the guitar solo? Serial Killer says, this show has consistently bad music. Sounds like he put a bunch of words in a bag, just sang whatever he pulled out, says Malkuth. This music makes me think Hake enjoys a good cry from time to time. Alphas don't mute Hake's music, you must endure. We don't need Joel to rap, he stinks at it. This person didn't say stinks. This is nice music, Hake. Soothing to my soul, says Lord Luca Music. Well, thank you, Luca. I asked Luca what he thought of Six Organs of Admittance. I said, good singer yesterday's music. Not good singer, good guitarist. And he didn't use the term good. He used a better adjective. And the haunting lyrics, as long as they weren't satanic, I can get with it. And I checked out his channel, Lord Luca Music's channel. And he actually sings out. Like with his, well, I don't know if it's singing with his chest, but he sings out. Because, he calls in and he's like talking under his breath, like kind of like me and my, if you subscribe to my Subscribe Star, you may hear me talking kind of like how Luca talks and some other, my other callers, like they want to keep quiet. So their voice wavers a little bit because they're talking quiet. So as not to disturb the baby sleeping in the other room or whatever. But yeah, he has a nice voice. It reminds me a little bit of like Devendra Benhart or something like that, but less precious, which is a good thing. A little bit more manly. Nice, Luca. Took me all this time to finally check out your music channel. That's cool. Anyway, thank you for bearing with me through that arguably beautiful music, right? Is this song about a John Podesta dinner party? Creepy. Oh yeah, there is some, those lyrics were a little bit like kiss your skull and eat the horse that you're riding, swallow this whole world whole. Yeah, it is a little bit, I don't know what it was about. Asmodor states, I don't know what this is, but I don't like it. Is this song about John Podesta dinner party creepy? This reminds me of LN. Oh, cool, I liked LN. I played a lot of LN, which was short for Love Neptune, because it was kind of like what is that, spacey shoegaze music, and a little bit of folk. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Let me quickly get to William in California, a fellow music fan. William, how are you doing?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Hey.
That was pretty good.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, that looks like a cobra head, top of a cobra on the label.
Oh, on the cover of the
packaging
of the album?
Yeah.
It may be, I don't know. Yeah, that could be.
Look at it real good, yeah.
Sort of psychedelic.
Yeah.
stuff.
Right. Like Crosby, Stills, and Nash, maybe.
I don't know. I'm sheltered.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You were young. The caller that just called a few minutes ago, he's on point about that. I'm kind of similar situation. He's like, guys that already did their work and they're 60, and you get the social warriors. They get mad at you when you tell the truth.
Yeah.
And right now, black mothers look really bad. And this thing that happened up in Sacramento.
Yeah, crazy shooting. Crazy
put that
mass
kind of product
shooting.
on the street. There's two brothers. Come on.
Two brothers and a third suspect has been arrested too. The second brother was injured pretty badly, I think.
And listen to this, bailed out.
Oh,
Now,
really?
I'm up here. Let me tell you what the local news get down is. They did not want to announce who these people were for the longest.
Oh, you think so?
Well, they got this silent law. You can't talk about blacks. That's why the caller, the gentleman that was on there saying they started attacking him right there on the chat. He's a self-hating black. No, you're not self-hating.
Right.
You're telling the truth, brother. And Denny, good man, over there in
Bulgaria. Yeah.
Yes. The truth always hurts. And it's like 76% single-parent homes in the black community. So right now, this product that you have put on the streets recently, we're talking about people that are not even 30, have killed people. And I'm going to get a follow-up on this call, but I'm calling you out. Black parenting is terrible. You're 26 years old. You got two sons that did this. Who knows? Whatever. That means you were just raising these young men 10 minutes ago. It's pretty young to say that your life is over.
Yeah.
Nothing self-hate about that. And the first thing you do, and you got the spring break down in Miami. We got another one coming out of San Francisco. A kid was stopped, Frisco, whatever. And here we go. They got their attorney, and he was racially profiled. No, he was profiled,
right?
Not racially profiled. Okay, it's called get stopped. It's not you. Go home.
Yeah.
So their little campaign is like they're panicking and going for the goalpost because their wokeness is worn out in just 1 year.
I know. People turned on Black Lives Matter because they were supporting them like crazy, and now I don't think people are a little bit alienated now.
And, for Joe, he's cool and everything. I understood where he was coming from, and I didn't take any offense to what he was saying.
You're talking about Joe from Phoenix who called in?
Yeah. But try not to cherry pick one place. Harlem ain't really what you think it is. You can't go out at night.
Oh, because he's talking about black neighborhoods that are decent. Okay.
Yeah, what are you talking about? West Harlem? It's always been famous for jazz artists and stuff like that. It's a hip neighborhood, but it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But don't cherry pick congressmen that are from Jamaica or whatever,
I know.
When we talk about black people, we talk about black people here.
You're right.
And to not say nothing about the product that we're putting on the street right now, not me. Mine ain't out there. The product that you guys are putting out there is terrible. But the first thing they want to do is call your station and defend them. How can you defend this behavior? We got 3 14-year-olds in New York that attacked an 80-year-old.
Well, they're not defending the behavior. They're downplaying it, saying it's only a tiny
you
percentage.
Can't talk about blacks.
Yeah.
And watch when I hang up. They'll be calling.
I don't know, man.
You can't talk about blacks. You'll say nothing self-hating. It's like the gentleman that just called. Just because he got his life together, you can't knock a man that's got his life together. I'm the same way. You want to get mad at me for having my life together? Whatever. Get in line.
Well, appreciate it, William. It is a mess.
You guys, man. I mean, it really needs to be paid attention to. Look, you're responsible for 80% of the crime in the country, black people. It is time to look at this.
Well, all right, man.
Okay.
Appreciate it, William. Take care, man.
Appreciate you too, James. All right.
All right. He was talking about that Sacramento shooting. Let me briefly cover. A third suspect was arrested. It was reported, I think, late Monday. Davion Dawson, age 31, Daviynne. What kind of mother named him that, right? It doesn't even sound like a masculine name. Davion Dawson. I'm assuming it's a he. Was arrested after, and that's this third person arrested in this shootout that left like 100 casings, over 100 casings or something like that, on the ground, just blocks away from Capitol Park, which I think is where the state government has their fancy buildings and stuff in Sacramento, California, the capital of California. It's a beautiful area, Sacramento Park. I've been there multiple times. But he's not charged with crimes directly related to the shooting based on the type of firearm covered. Cops don't believe the gun was used in the shooting, but he was arrested and a gun was recovered. But killed 6 and wounded 12. These multiple suspects are believed to have fired weapons at like 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, after like a bar fight or club fight or whatever. Saturday night, Sunday morning, right? Dawson already had felony cases from 2012, 2014, 2015. What a mess. He was charged in 2014 with a Halloween assault on a man as a member of the Stars, with a Z, street gang. Charged with being a street gang member who engaged in a pattern of criminal activity and did willfully promote, further, and assist in felony criminal conduct by said gang members, said a court thing. But there were 2 brothers, but they're actual brothers, purportedly. At least half brothers, right? Smiley Martin was the second guy who was arrested, and he was injured in this shooting. So maybe it was like a shootout, this mass shooting that took place up in Sacramento. Smiley Martin, what a name, huh? 27. Brother of the first man arrested, 26-year-old Dondre Martin. And it was funny, Dondre, D-A-N-D-R-A-E. It was spelled D-R-E, D-A-N-D-R-E, Dondre Martin. Any relation to Trayvon? Trayvon would be, what, 28 now, maybe? Or 27? 10 years ago he was killed at age 17? No, I don't know if these guys are related. But Dondre, they were putting out fake mug shots of like this weird-looking, like maybe Hispanic or something type of a brown guy or Middle Eastern guy who had this wild afro that almost looked like one of those thick, either like Jewish or Russian hats, puffy hats that are all wide on top of the head. He had an afro that was like that, except it was not necessarily that black of hair. It wasn't all tight and curly. So, but that turned out to be a fake thing. And the blacks who hate whites were like, oh my gosh, white people just saw a name, Dondre, and assumed that it was a black. But it turns out, no, it was a black. Dondre Martin. And innocent unless proven guilty. Don't know if he actually did it. But whatever. What a mess, huh? Shootings all over the place. Violent crime like crazy. Young people, like way underage, including black girls, like in D.C., I think it was, and like young boys, like 11 years old, I think maybe was one, doing carjackings in Chicago and elsewhere. What a mess. So bad. Anyway, I will get to more of your super chats on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report and odyssee.com/@The Hake Report. Appreciate that, guys. Before I get to Putin, let me talk with Social Pariah out of Denver, Colorado. Social Pariah, thank you for holding. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, Hake?
Hey.
I just was going to say that you did a good job with Stardust. That you got the word out about that. I don't know their listeners are going to just be in denial or if they're going to actually research it or not. But you did what you could. You said, put the word out.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's cool. Thanks for checking that out, Social Pariah. Yeah, I debated Stardust, who is a young lady, on Modern Day Debate. I've talked about it a little bit already. On this past Friday evening, about is the Great Reset real? And some of you guys, as you know much more about the Great Reset than I do, much more well-versed. But I read up a little bit and I listened to their little presentation Zoom meeting. And I'm like, these people are not for what's right. And I looked at the strategic partners, the Google, which is Alphabet, Meta, which is Facebook, Amazon, and I don't know if Visa, but MasterCard, PayPal, Goldman Sachs, all kinds of companies that do not have good reputations as being upright, moral straightness or anything. No, they're not for what's right, nor is Klaus Schwab or that guy, who's that guy who supports Black Lives Matter? George Soros? Yeah, it's a bunch of sick stuff. All the worst people are for that stuff. And it is happening. I mean, it already has been happening when they shut down, because these people all have like a female mindset. It's like groupthink. From the locals to the... From the locals and the voters and the Twitter dummies to the so-called elites. So wrong. Yeah, I appreciate that. Go ahead.
I don't believe that even she doesn't believe that they don't indoctrinate in universities.
Oh,
that they
yeah.
Actually, that, you know, I mean, they were talking. That guy, I forget what his name was. He wrote a book called Woke Inc. And how he started a...
Who did?
I think it was... the name of the book was Woke Inc. I can't remember the author's name.
Okay.
He's like an Indian guy.
Oh, okay.
But he was talking about... You know, he started a multi-million-dollar business.
Vivek Ramaswamy. Ramaswamy.
Yeah. So that all the people that graduated that came to work for his company, all they cared about was wokeness about, you know, environmental. He eventually just had to step down and let some, you know, he's still like a board member, but he said that it shuts down all dialogue. It shuts down adversarial points of view.
Yeah.
It's really a good business strategy, but it's a terrible thing for the country.
Right.
And all Stardust wanted to see do they have a private meeting where this is what we're going to do? Is like, no, but it's been going on for a long time now.
Right. Yeah, true.
And she's, I don't think you convinced her, but, you know, people are just going to have to, I guess we're just going to have to suffer along with them until they figure it out.
Yeah. In fact, I wasn't even trying to convince her. I was just trying to put out the truth as I see it, you know? And,
that's all you can do.
Right. And it seemed like she might have been playing dumb, kind of stubborn.
Oh.
She seemed to shut down toward the end there. I asked her if she was bored. Because she was just looking sideways and just kind of quiet and subdued. And the guy who was hosting the show was also had a very quiet and subdued personality. He wasn't as like bombastic as James Kuntz of Modern Day Debate, but he did a good job, I thought.
Yeah, I think a lot of women, whenever you debate them, they hear what you're saying, and they get quiet toward the end because they see the truth. And they're like, you know, their ego won't let them agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But they're hearing what you're saying, and that's what really matters.
Yeah. True.
I won't take up too much of your time. I really didn't have a whole lot other than I was glad that you did that debate, that you actually got the word out about that.
Nice, man. Thank you, Social Pariah. It's good to hear from you. Take care.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye. So it's 25 after, 26 after almost. Oh, yeah, it is. Let me get to this Putin thing. I have told you a little bit about this, and I mentioned it actually in the Great Reset last week when I was preparing for this Great Reset debate, which maybe I underprepared, I don't know, but Putin may be part of it. Did you know that? Did you consider it? I don't know. I don't think that Putin is going to save us or even necessarily his country from whatever's coming. But I don't know. I watched the rest of that Alex Newman video of The New American. Alex Newman is a young man who's, I would consider him a journalist, an honest journalist, perhaps somewhat of a historian. He did a presentation on Putin. And I heard, too, that he did another one the following week on Zelensky. Because Zelensky is no angel. But last month he covered Putin, and prior to that he covered this whole Ukraine conflict and the NWO type stuff that they're pushing, right? Globalists. Very interesting. Christopher, Dawning Armor, one of my callers, you guys call him Yawning Armor. He may not be wrong about Putin, calling Putin a communist, even though it is kind of boomer cringe-esque. Not that Dawning Armor is a boomer, and I do love boomers, but that is sort of a boomer take. But, because it kind of misses the point of why people do feel somewhat sympathetic to what's Putin's position and what they're doing. Kind of being nationalistic, Allegedly, but maybe he's being more regional. He was just a power-hungry guy. Who knows? But I took a few screenshots from this Alex Newman video. Let me show these. One of them that they mention is this Ecumene, something like that, World Council of Churches. That, I don't know, like somebody whom Putin selected or is friends with, who's involved in this, as like the Russian Orthodox Church, is part of this World Council of Churches. Why would you be a part of a World Council of Churches? Sounds globalist communist, Just something I'm leery of. And Putin, he is a politician. Politicians play the game. I cut Trump a lot of slack for playing the game, Playing the game, the politics, kissing up to the gays and kissing up to this and that organization that I don't really like or support. Fred in the YouTube chat says, Putin is a filthy capitalist. And there was another case there was this UK inquiry from 2016 in which Putin allegedly, probably, approved the murder by poisoning of this ex-FSB. FSB is the new version of the KGB, which is the communists' version of the CIA, right? The Russian Soviets' version of the CIA. Agent Litvinenko. This guy was hospitalized and he died, I guess. Murdered. And they say it's quite probable that Putin approved that murder by poisoning. Crazy, huh? I mean, I was cheerleading Trump killing Soleimani. Soleimani, who was an Iranian general who was killing a lot of Americans, allegedly, who was like a mastermind behind those roadside bombs. So I don't know, killing people. Sometimes it's part of the job. I don't want to cut Putin undue slack. This was very interesting. This was shared on Alex Newman's video regarding Putin and Russia and stuff like that. Abortion rates by country in 2022, and it shows they don't have information for everything, But they have information for North America, Mexico, and Russia. They don't really have much in the way for China. Some in India and Australia and Europe. And the abortion rates are all pretty much kind of bad everywhere that I'm looking at this world map. This flat earth map? No, I'm kidding. But according to Alex Newman, abortion rates, Russia has the worst, as in most abortions per capita, I guess. Abortion rate per pregnancy, I guess it should be. In the world. I did not know that. And so he's spoken out a little bit against abortion. They need more, I was about to say Canadians. We do need more Canadians, real Canadians. But we do need, they do need more Russians. Very interesting, huh? Is that Ukraine in there? Is that Ukraine that still has pretty high abortion? The orange, I'm looking at this map, and the orange is the worst. The purple is the least worst, but it is still bad. Okay, and then the red is middle of the road bad. Killing babies all over the world. And Putin has spoken out against abortion, but some say it's just for practical reasons. Putin and Obama. Remember when Obama? This is the next little picture from 2014. Remember when Obama was in charge? Trying to forget. And like they were talking about Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. We're gonna press the reset button and reset our relations with Russia. And Obama's all friendly with Putin, or allegedly, who knows. But Putin's this is a headline from, I think, the New American. Putin's East versus West, East versus globalist West, merging into a new world order. And that's what this Alex Newman guy says is the push. Huh. I don't know. Very interesting. Last little screenshot before I play some clips. There's a screenshot of sleepy Joe Biden at the Council on Foreign Relations. Council on Foreign Relations. I first heard of the Council on Foreign Relations, I think, because Ted Cruz's wife. Oh, yeah, interesting. Ted Cruz's wife? I saw a super chat come in. Wasn't she on the CFR? Or am I mixing that up? I think she was. You know, the ugly-faced blonde woman? I call her ugly face because Trump tweeted out a picture of her and a side-by-side with his wife, his current wife, right? Melania. Melania all beautiful, and Ted Cruz's wife with a weird crooked expression on her face, looking all ugly. And Ted Cruz is all sour grapes about that and wouldn't forgive Trump. Simp. Beta. But yeah, and in this clip, I'll play it. Biden says, oh, this guy, this head of Council on Foreign Relations, is my boss. And I don't know when this clip was, but Biden is either vice president or some type of sucker calling him his boss, this guy who plays like he's all humble. This Richard person. Anyway, quick super chat. To give context, perhaps, as Medora states with the super chat a few minutes ago, how do you think all governments deal with rogue spies, James? And that may be a reference. Is that the reference to that guy who got poisoned? And that may have been a ex-FSB agent, right? Rogue spy is what that guy may have been. Poisoned and killed, murdered, you know? You can't just play patty cake with people who betray the interests of the country, right? So, fair enough, Asmodor. You do, there is a time to kill in this world, that's for sure. Even the man after God's own heart, King David, killed many. He murdered one guy whose wife he committed adultery with. But he killed many. Like they were bragging, oh, King Saul killed his thousands. King David has killed his tens of thousands. Or I don't even know if he was king at that point. But let me just play a few clips from this Alex Newman video because, you know, I've been all sympathetic towards Putin. Let me give a little bit of a guy who is not pro-globalist, at least, but he is saying these things about what's going on that I found interesting. The first one mentions Klaus Schwab, who is the guy who's the head of the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset type of a guy, the author of the Great Reset. He brags that he trained Putin or something like that. Well, listen to this clip. This is Alex Newman talking and playing a clip here. Enjoy.
He's also very close with Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum. Listen, watch this video of Klaus Schwab bragging about how he trained up Putin as a young global leader. Watch this.
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
Mm-hmm. All right. Wow. And he's not the only one, right? The head of Putin's central bank is a member of the board of trustees of the World Economic Forum, folks, the Great Reset maniacs. Yes, those people. He's also a good friend of Henry Kissinger. And this has been very, very well documented for years. They go to each other's houses. They call each other friends. Putin says Kissinger is his trusted advisor. If you read Kissinger's book, World Order, where he outlines the globalist plan for a new world order, it says the contemporary quest for world order requires us to divide the world up into regional orders like the Eurasian Union, the European Union, the African Union, pick your union, and then merging those all together for a one world order. Putin is following this strategy to the letter. The goal, folks, the eventual goal is a convergence of the East and West on totalitarian terms as they build this one world government. Merge the East and West, merge the first world and the third world.
Crazy, huh? So Kissinger, he's friends with Kissinger. Why do I have a negative impression of that Henry Kissinger guy? Is he a Christian? Is he American? Some of you guys know who Henry Kissinger is, right? Former United States Secretary of State, German-born, so-called American politician. Under who? 5'9". Harvard educated. Was that under Nixon? Oh yeah, it was under Nixon and Ford, Gerald Ford. What type of German? Was he a normal German? I don't know. No? Is that an N for no? Not a normal German. Not a Christian German? Oh yeah, family was German Jewish. Yeah. Not saying guilt by association. Kissinger is an American citizen and is Jewish. Thank you, Asmodor. Okay, so a couple more clips, brief clips on that Alex Newman is presenting, this Alex Newman guy, former guest of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. He's a frequent guest on American Liberty with BillLockwood.com, who appears on JLP many times. Here's talking about the USSR uniting with uniting with America. Listen to this.
We've done whole episodes here about China is going to play the star role in the New World Order. That's according to George Soros himself, right? The guy who installed the puppet government of Ukraine with help from the CIA. So, folks, what's happening here is becoming more and more clear. And this has been the agenda for a long time. We've showed you this clip before. This was Norman Dodd. He was the top investigator for Congress on their commission to investigate tax-exempt foundations. He said he was invited in by the head of the Ford Foundation into his office. And listen to what Norman Dodd, again, the chief investigator for this congressional committee, found or was told by the head of the Ford Foundation, Alan Geithner. Listen.
Whereupon he made this statement to me, namely, Mr. Dodd, we here operate on in response to similar directives, the substance of which is that we shall use our grant-making power so to alter life in the United States that it can be comfortably merged with the Soviet Union.
All right, so we're going to comfortably merge the Soviet Union with the United States. Interesting.
I'm laughing because Commander Kim over there on Odyssey chat, quality chat over there on Odyssey. If you're not a quality chatter, don't go. But we got to keep that quality. She says, I think it's a she. She says, no wonder Lockwood is demoralized if he's listening to this dude. Talking about Alex Newman. Alex Newman is, I think he's like my age, maybe even younger. But, Soros all involved. By the way, Nixon, I do have a positive impression of. Is Nixon or was Nixon a good president? For some reason, I have this positive impression of him. I could be, maybe he was a mixed bag. But Kissinger, I don't have that same warm, fuzzy feeling toward Kissinger that I have toward Richard Nixon. Last clip, this one is on the Council of Foreign Relations and Biden kissing up to this guy and some other things. Listen to this.
That same little talk at the Council on Foreign Relations that he was working for Richard. Richard, of course, is the president of the Council on Foreign Relations.
I probably should introduce myself to everybody. My name is Richard Haas, by the way. I work here at the Council on Foreign Relations.
And I work for Richard.
Now, Trump knew about all this. I want to show you a little clip, and Trump is talking about this while he's sitting right next to Zelensky. Check this out.
Because the corruption's massive. Now, when Biden's son walks away with millions of dollars from Ukraine and he knows nothing.
Everybody in Washington, D.C. knows that Ukraine is the Ukrainian government is a cesspool of corruption. It is a cesspool of former communists. It is a cesspool of deep state toadies. And nobody should believe for a second that this Ukrainian government is this great heroic defender of freedom and Western values. It's simply not true.
Yeah, true. That last clip was from a different video that Alex Newman made with a better background, by the way. One criticism that I have, maybe a constructive criticism, if Alex Newman catches this video, is I don't like his breathing in between statements. He's talking fast because he has to put out a lot of information in a video. But anyway, other than that, kind of interesting stuff. So, yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe it's all evil versus evil. Don't know. Don't have a lot of concern or care, right? But, you know, I also, anytime I listen to people who know their stuff, I tend to like, oh, maybe they're right. Because I hear Nick Fuentes or historians like Asmodor. I'm going on Asmodor's show, by the way, the Crypto Report on Saturday. Tell you about that in a minute. But I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. So it's hard to know. It's like when I was listening to the young Earth arguments. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe that's true. And then the old Earth arguments, maybe that's true. I never really thought that maybe flat Earth is true, though. Sorry, flat Earthers. I love you. If I love anybody, I love the flat Earthers. Shout out to the Facebook crew, though, right? The faithful few. Whitney Smith says, Duke Putin 2024. Funny. Yeah, well, I was chuckling about that video because even Alex Newman, was chuckling about the video. Shane says Trump was right again because Trump is sitting, apparently right after a meeting with Zelensky, sitting in the White House, you know, during his presidency, talking about total corruption among Biden in Ukraine. And it zooms in on Volodymyr Zelensky's face, this unchristian male. And Zelensky's like looking all confused and scared. And does he understand English? Does he understand the words that Trump is saying? Because he's calling the country corrupt, and which is true, I think. And Zelensky's all like nervous. And Trump is talking about his country and Biden's relationship with the country. And I think this is amid his defense of his first phony impeachment. Trump was falsely impeached twice, right? Under false pretenses. The first was over a perfect phone call in which he wanted Ukraine to look into sleazy Joe Biden's allegedly sleazy or perhaps sleazy relationships, business relationships, and maybe his son's stuff. Where's Hunter? He would ask. And Zelensky, too, he wanted to get rid of an old Obama holdover who was an ambassador to Ukraine, that evil woman who I don't think was a Christian. I'm blanking on her name, Marie Yovanovitch or something like that. And Zelensky was like, oh, yeah, she's no good. He basically he'll just agree with whoever's pressuring him the most. These people. No loyalty. Very disloyal. Very disloyal. You know, this guy from not Hungary, Bulgaria, the caller from Bulgaria, Denny, talked about how the Hungarian prime minister said that they don't allow in Hungary dual citizenship. I love that. But we also should be limiting the people who come over here because regardless of whether they're dual citizens or not, they don't have our values. They still care about the stuff back home. They still have this concern, you know, these so-called Ukrainian Americans protesting for us to get all involved in Ukraine. Armenian so-called Americans, some of them are Americans, all protest, Armenian genocide or whatever. Or Armenia versus Azerbaijanis, or whatever was going on a couple of years ago or something. And, you know, all these different people from all these different countries all want America to get involved with their old home country's stuff. Even if they're not dual citizenship mess. Azador with a super chat here. He says, I'm chuckling about a different chat that he said. He said, generally speaking, people who do their streams in front of bookcases to look smart are full of bull, as in bogus speech. But anyway, that's like a little jab at Alex Newman, maybe. But anyway, Ukraine, says Asmodor with a super chat on odysee.com/@the-Hake-Report. Ukraine is absolutely the defender of America's values. That is the American establishment, I think he's going to say. They launder our elites' money and push LGBT and provide child victims for the 1%. Their businesses have the Biden administration heavily compromised. To sum up, degeneracy, corruption, bullying, blackmail. They're just like our government, which is what he says, America's values. Yeah, our false values, right? The false values that, why do we elect our worst people? Even the conservatives elect our worst people, so-called conservatives. Bunch of phonies. Bunch of the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? Jelly bean? Yes, I do, tennis shoe. So bad. My town had a Ukrainian rally, says Lisa over there on Facebook. Small turnout, but it was chilly and insanely windy. And yet they still turned out because Ukraine is cold, I guess, so they can take it. What a sick world. And that's why JLP has said in church, the world's not going to get better. You have to get better. Another super chat from John WX25 over there on streamlabs.com/the-Hake Report. I don't know Putin, but I know the evil lib trash, so I trust nothing that a lib scum supports. Yeah, same here. I don't support Ukraine, at least not that Ukraine government. I do wonder, you know, the Ukrainian people, if there's like there's got to be like some decent guys over there. Probably decent guys all over the world, right? A few, select few. I wonder if the Russian people feel like their government does not, like the decent people over there. I wonder if they're happy with their government or displeased with their government, as we, who are for what's right or seek for what's right, are very displeased with our government establishment. Asmodor states, these Ukrainian Americans, hyphenated Americans, are some of the worst people in our country. They're holding rallies demanding that Tucker apologize for being against World War III or resign. Real Americans. Yeah, the nerve, the chutzpah of Volodymyr Zelensky to say, oh, UN has to dissolve if you're not going to get involved more against Russia. Give me a break. I would be all for the UN dissolving because they're for evil, you know, but not for not getting involved with Russia-Ukraine mess. Please, you know? What a mess. The nerve and the gall. Shameful. You know, let me cover this last couple of topics. You can call in, guys. 888-775-3773. My t-shirt is nothing special today. It's just, some people thought it was black. It's blue, dark blue. And it's a little bit slightly heathered. Mostly cotton. A little bit of polyester. I try not to have too much polyester because polyester stinks when mixed with other stuff. Bacteria, I guess. I wanted to talk about this vaccine concern. Some of you guys are very concerned about the vaccines, especially these China virus vaccines, or you have been anyway. Claston Bernard, former guest on the Jason Lee Peterson show, caller onto my show and the JLP show, has come to men's conferences and things over the years. Claston B on Twitter, Jamaican guy, came to America, loves America. He says, he's a former Olympic athlete, by the way. Decathlete, I think. I think it's decathlon. As a former Olympic athlete, this is problematic. And he tweets out this April 2nd article by J.D. Rucker from the Liberty Daily. And I don't know anything about this outlet, the Liberty Daily, but it references a couple of reports. And J.D. Rucker is on Substack as well, this writer. And the article headline reads, Buried Bombshell. Tennis world rocked as 15, quote-unquote, fully vaccinated players unable to finish the Miami Open. And, you know, it reads, tennis fans are upset at the sporting world is reeling after an unprecedented number of players. Is it unprecedented? I don't know. Either withdrew or retired from the Miami Open this week. Total number of 15 players unable to finish, including male and female favorites to win, according to Free West Media, another outlet that I had not really heard of and don't know about. So take it with a grain of salt so that you don't just believe everything you hear, but it may well be true, okay? The tennis world reacted with shock as favorites Paula Badosa and Jannik Sinner, 2 N's. Sinner had to retire during their quarterfinals of the Miami Open. That's a tennis tournament, right? Badosa, soon to be number 3 in the world, became unwell during her match against Jessica Pegula, left the court in tears. Badosa, who was comforted by her American opponent, such girly sports thing. Oh, come here. I'm picturing they're like hugging each other, comforting each other. Girls, women, but that's nice. Decided to stop after a consultation with their physiotherapist. Pegula, the other guy, I think, Pegula, whoever that is, reached the semifinals of the Miami tennis tournament. Oh, the opponent, right? Jessica Pegula. For the first time in her career after Badosa's resignation, reported Yahoo Sports. In the men's tournament, Italian phenomenon, Jannik Sinner, Jannik, Sinner, like one who sins, was forced to withdraw, gave up after 22 minutes in the game against Francisco Cerundolo, number 103 in world ranking. When I served at 3-1 and 30-0, or love, I don't know how to pronounce, I don't know. I saw him bend over. It was very strange. I hope he's okay. He's a great player. 23-year-old Argentine surprisingly reached the semifinals with his first participation in the Master Tournament in Miami. Second game in a row that ended prematurely for the tennis fans. Fans reacted with shock at the bizarre tennis day. What is going on? Someone asked. And, you know, I've seen little reports on Telegram from TKR official on Telegram and real Vincent James on Telegram of like these soccer players like clutching their chests and collapsing. And I don't know what's going on, but some say maybe related to something else going on that's been pushed on these people, these young, healthy players. Don't know. That's all I'm saying. There was another report where 3 cyclists fell in March alone in, biking cyclists. So there have been basketball players who are like, you know what, I'm fit, I'm healthy. I keep my distance from people. I don't cough on people. I don't invade their personal space. And I don't think that I need this. And the people are such idiots that they're just fall in line. And this thing, there's no long-term tests and all that stuff. So, what a mess. What a mess. Let me quickly get to Art in Ohio. Wants to talk about that black female who it looks like will be appointed to the so-called Supreme Court. Art in Ohio, how are you doing? Appreciate it.
I'm all right. I'm just thinking about something or whatnot. Glad to be on the show. First thing first is, and it's gonna be the only thing I'm gonna be able to say. It just shows you how fallen and how low they set the standards in the bar. And it says everything that I need to know about America and the people in America or whatnot. They act like they care about kids, let alone having all these abortions with kids. Then you fine with trying to elect somebody that goes light on pedophiles or people that's got child pornographic stuff in their phone, and y'all actually considering nominating that person. So that let me know everything I need to know about the politics and the politicians, the people that's actually thinking about electing her. That makes me think that y'all probably mess with kids. Or y'all probably got pornographic stuff in your phones or stuff like that. You see what I'm saying?
I kind of see what you're saying. Well, think about this. I know a lot of people who are not homosexuals, but they support the homosexuals. And I think they support the homosexuals because they're for evil themselves. They're doing the sex out of wedlock thing. They're moral degenerates. And they're like, well, let me support this. I've heard one wise man say that they support the LGBT to feel better about their own perversions, quote unquote, straight perversions. So I think that it is a sympathy for evil, which is evil.
Well, yeah, and that's crazy you sitting there saying that because that's like somebody saying that I don't go march with the Black Lives Matter, but I give them money.
Yeah.
Well, you might as well be out there. You might as well be out there marching with them too.
Yeah,
because you funding them to be out there, and that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, you might not be a pedophile or have even stuff in your phone that's pedophile material, whatnot, pornographic stuff about kids, but you trying to put somebody in a lifelong position as a Supreme Court judge or whatnot. You basically are supporting it.
Right.
You see, I mean,
true.
And it's just like,
they do support misguiding the kids, bringing them up in this fake racism thing, the fake LGBT thing, sex education.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So
Yes,
it may
they
as well
do.
be what you just said about, the abusers of children. They are. So.
And just think about how me and you look at it. We like, okay, let me find out one of my lifelong friends is got messing with some kids or got pornographic stuff in their phone. I'm cutting them off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be still like, hey, man, just call me on the phone. I ain't got to see you, but we can still talk on the phone. No. I'm washing my hands with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. And that's what I'm saying about even with her and these politicians or whatnot. They let me know everything. Y'all act like y'all against kids being molested and stuff, but you got people being trafficked coming across the border down there at Texas, Arizona and stuff.
We got to end.
You saying it?
Art, I appreciate it, man. We are overtime. It's good to hear from you.
Good to hear. I'll catch you later.
All right, take care. Guys, we're overtime. Thank you for joining. This has been the Hake Report. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Catch the Bond Archive Sunday service premiere today at 4 Pacific. And Go to thehakereport.com/appearances. My announcement for my appearance on Asmodor's show, The Crypto Report, is there. Follow odyssey.com/@Asmodor for it. Thehakereport.com/appearances if you didn't catch it. Thanks, guys. Take care.